Welcome to Rich Keys Trading Channel, where we unlock one candle at a time. Please pay attention to the disclaimer on your screen. And with that out of the way, let's get into the charts. Welcome back, traders. Today is Sunday, the 31st of August, 2025. Time is about 3:30 p.m. New York time, and I like to analyze Bitcoin dominance, and might look at probably, if time permits, a few altcoins as well for a potential trade. Now, I want to start on the monthly chart as the month is ending today on Bitcoin dominance, and any other asset that we might be examining. So, looking at the monthly chart on Bitcoin, we could clearly see the uptrend is still up there intact, but then the uptrend has hit a resistance wall, and this resistance wall is a double top with shooting stars, double shooting stars. Now, this 125, 124, 533 high that we hit, it's kind of like a glass ceiling. And until we break above this high, I'm not analyzing price targets above these levels. So these are rejection candles that we are printing on the monthly. Last month was a shooting star, but it was green. And then we have confirmed it now with a red bearish shooting star. This double shooting star clearly um, tells me that a stronger pullback is going to occur on Bitcoin on the monthly chart. If you step down and look at your indicators, you would again observe that the divergence has actually been existent since 2024, created a divergence that brought us down, and we have formed this is our third divergence between the all-time high and the previous high that we formed here around, I think it was around, this was at 100, and I think it was about 109, 109. So 109 high, and then this is the 124, 500 high, and this is where your RSI came. And the month is closing in red. That confirms that confirms your divergence. Also, if you look down at your stochastic is hit right at the neckline of a cycle high, about to also come down. So definitely all is aligned on the monthly chart. You know that the next couple of months, maybe to the third month probably, Bitcoin doesn't have a strong upside at all. Step down to your monthly MACD to measure your momentum as well as your strength, and it's all been down. Clearly, this month has officially given us a red histogram bar below the zero line on the MACD indicator. This suggests that momentum, even from a higher time frame like the monthly, is to the downside. I don't have any support for an upside at the moment on Bitcoin. Let's roll down to the weekly and then to the lower time frames to see if that's the thesis that we have, the bias is to the downside, then how is it all going to unfold? On the weekly, momentum measured on the MACD is to the downside, histogram bar is down, MACD signal lines cross down. So there's no strength to the upside, but strength is to the downside. Our stochastic is already turned down on the weekly. We haven't hit a cycle low yet, strongly to the downside on the weekly. RSI has officially on the weekly also crossed the 50% level, and now we're trending in the bearish camp of 37. Again, there's no strength for an upside. So um, I'm seeing this as very bearish. And so I'm analyzing this in the context of a bearish case scenario. We currently testing the 21 moving average on the weekly, and that's a significant level. Anytime you get to these moving averages, they would definitely respond. When we got to the 9, we had our response. We got to the 21, there is a response. You can see that we're getting a wick off the weekly candle of this point. Now, how far am I expecting this week? I'll step down to the daily chart as well as the 4 hours, and then we can find a granular level where the price targets are for downtrend in the interim. So, stepping down to the daily, I do realize that price is trapped between the 50 period moving average and the 200 moving average on the daily. Now, this is a bear's target that have been put on my chart for a long time. That the bears are aiming for the 200 daily moving average. That's their target. That's the ultimate target they're looking for on this initial fall. Once they arrive here, price would bounce and will probably bounce into this area, this area here, right about 110, 110. So we'll come to about 104. There will be a strong bounce that will bring us between at least 110 to about 100 and let's say 11 or so thereabout. Before we continue going down, this area would not be broken easily. So that's my assessment. Currently, as we look at this, stepping down to the 4 hours, we're just consolidating to go down some more. I don't see this as any reversal or any strong pullback like we had here, where we went all the way to the 50 period average. Now, whilst that is possible, so I actually have a rise target here because of this resistance, this target that we came to, and that was our target for last week. I think I could take this off the chart now. So here was our target for last week, and we nailed it way beyond. Um, we bounced off this target to this level, and we are falling down further. Now I'm looking at this as this is going to just consolidate here. We could potentially get a spoof up, to test this level again because of this area. It's a magnetic area here. So this 109, 110 area could significantly be tested before our continuation to the downside. But that's just, for you to prepare for a surprise, more or less. I'm not expecting it, but if it happens, it's because this support that has now been broken has now turned into a resistance. So here's your resistance line right here. All right. So I expect. Actually, let me just do this and put this on here. All right. So here has become now your resistance level. All right. And that could be where price could move up to resistance level. Okay. So I expect price to bounce into this area and then it will continue its way down towards the bearish target, which is, I think, ultimately right around the 200 period moving average. And once the 200 gets bounced, we will come further down to an ultimate target by probably the end of next week, somewhere around 101, $100,000 thereabout. So that's my assessment on Bitcoin. Oh, indicators wise, yes, let's look at indicators wise. There is a divergence in place. Yes, yes, I forgot to share this as well. So on the 4 hours, we have some divergence that is working its way. And I think that's what is going to push it towards the resistance level to test that resistance level that I'm talking about. So you can see there's a divergence here. There's another divergence between here and here. And so in the interim, I think yes, yes. In the interim, I think the push up to the resistance level is intact. It's supported by our indicators as well on the 4 hour time frame. You could also see your MACD histogram bars on 4 hours is up, suggesting that we shall continue to have some sideways move towards that resistance line before, looking at your daily. Daily hasn't hit the cycle low yet. So before we actually, dip down towards the bearish target, which is somewhere around 104 to about 105 zone. So that's where I'm looking at in the next coming week for Bitcoin. Once this area gets hit, like I was saying, I would expect a little bit of a bounce. It's a very significant level, and I think the bulls would definitely step on the accelerator to try and push price a little bit up towards maybe this level of 112, maybe to this area that is still in play as a resistance because now it has been broken, so it will become the resistance level right here. So this area is of huge interest. Whether we consolidate here and come down, when we hit here, I would expect a move back up to this level before our continuation down. Um, let's briefly look at Bitcoin dominance. Okay, so now let's look at Bitcoin dominance as I was analyzing from the previous session on Bitcoin itself. Now, Bitcoin dominance has been also declining with some fat red candles. We came to the 9 period moving average on the monthly, found a little bit of support, but we broke it, and now we have come to the 21 monthly moving average. And here is also trying to find some support. Now, I think similar to what happened here, uh, we're going to have a similar reaction here whereby, as you can see, there was a clear wick um, below the moving average on the 9 period moving average. When we came to it, we have come to the 21, and I think dominance is going to create a wick below this candle. So, from the monthly perspective, I'm expecting that the dominance would rise somewhere to about this level, even potentially to about this level of 59.1. But give or take, there's a little bit of a pushback on this candle, this monthly candle, particularly as we close it into the first week of September, before, if the continuation would happen, uh, it would continue down. The stepping down to the indicators on the monthly, yes, you could see on the monthly we are in a solid red. Stochastics is pointing downwards. RSI is at 32, which is very weak. However, I'm also spotting a bullish, a hidden bull on this monthly chart. Now, of course, it takes a whole month for these things to show up or to materialize. So it's just the beginning stages of it. And by the end of next month, it would be confirmed whether the hidden bull was there or not. But where the hidden bull is at this level. So here, if you look carefully, this is a this is a higher low compared to this low that we formed here on December 1st, 2024, right? So here we have formed a higher low, but then our indicator is showing us a lower low compared to the previous RSI level. Same thing with MACD. So this was our previous MACD for this lower low, and here we have formed a higher low, and our indicator is making a lower low. That's an inverse divergence, what we usually would call a hidden bull or a hidden bear. And I think I'm seeing one here on the monthly. But like I said, it takes a whole month for it to be confirmed. So by the end of next month, September, we would know for sure whether this hidden bull was active or inactive. Let's step down to the weekly and drill down to see what the weekly is likely going to do. So on the weekly, we are actually trying to hold price at this level, which is outside our KC channel as well as also at the edge of our Bollinger Band. Um, if this candle in the next 4 hours should end like this, I'll consider this as an inverted hammer on good volume as well, which means bears have not been able to close the week below last week's closing or below last week's low, suggesting what I was inferring to on the monthly, that I'm expecting a little bit of a pushback to about 58, maybe 59 percent on dominance. So that's being displayed also on the weekly chart, but of course the weekly will end the next 4.5 hours. So by the next 4 hours, we'll know for sure whether we're going to get the push up that I'm looking for on dominance. Looking at the daily on dominance, daily is also showing us absorption candles, whenever you see these bullish engulfing candles and you get these small, body wick above, wick below candles, it tells me that insiders are absorbing the selling, and more likely they would try to turn price towards the upside once they finish their activity. A similar thing happened right here. We came down, you saw these small candles, we went up and then we came down. So I'm seeing a similar thing happen here where this would occur for a while. We'll go up and then we'll come back down. I don't think the fall on dominance is completed yet, um, unless we go above a key level that I have marked on my chart, and that is the 21 period moving average on the daily. Now, a candle open and close above this level would signify that at the very barest minimum, dominance might be coming all the way back up to about 61%, which would be the zero point 0.5 fib retrace from the all-time level. So we're watching closely whether this just consolidates and gash it down, or we're just going to consolidate a little bit and then go above the 21 period moving average. And we need a candle that opens and closes above this 21 moving average to confirm that we shall be moving our way towards the 61% level. So yeah, based on the 4 hour setup, I think it's already beginning. As you can see that after we made in this low last week, I think that was last week Sunday, and we went up and we haven't claimed we come below this low again, technically telling me that on the 4 hours it's showing us that we are forming a higher low here, and with this higher low potentially we could be making our way towards the 59.18 um level, which is also another important resistance level. So let's see how dominance plays out. And finally, I would like us to look at Ethereum. Ethereum has become very popular lately. A lot of people suggesting Ethereum would overtake Bitcoin. I don't know about that debate, and I don't want to be a part of that debate. But I'm just a chart analyst. I just want to concentrate on the chart. So, what has Ethereum done? Ethereum basically has formed a double top on the monthly, but we need with this double top we need a confirmation. So with this double top on Ethereum, I step down to the indicators to see if I get a good weakness that shows that the move up is completely done. And I think I do spot a divergence on our RSI on Ethereum. So this is your high or all-time high challenge RSI. So if you compare this RSI level to the previous RSI level that we had, which actually sold us down. This is a huge divergence from our high of 2024 to the current all-time high, which is a higher high RSI. So this divergence on this is the divergence I'm talking about. So this was our previous ceiling. We broke above it, but we do have a divergence on it. Okay, comparing this level to this level, and even if you should compare this level to this level, that's another divergence also between this all-time high of 4,000 thereabout 691, and this was your RSI level, but this already played itself out through all this sell-off, so I wouldn't count this RSI anymore. The most important RSI levels to watch is this one, and now what you have found. So this is our all-time high RSI, which is way lower than this and this. And I think for me, that suggests that this divergence between here and here, given next month candle close, would cement it for a reversal on Ethereum. Looking at it also from the weekly, let's go down to the weekly chart. And on the weekly, we having a cycle high on our stochastic. MACD has officially, also dipped below the zero line in the histogram. Um, RSI is showing some amount of strength, but again, even on the weekly, you have your divergence in place. You know, where this is your previous high, you went a higher high, but RSI made a lower high. So I think Ethereum also would do a nice pullback, and I think target wise, at the very minimum, I expect Ethereum to come all the way down to this level of about 3,894 in the next coming week. Let me quickly look down on the daily chart and see if we get anything suggesting otherwise. So on the daily chart, we're just going sideways. After we hit this high, we're just going sideways. And I think this is just consolidating. Uh, First to come, yeah, this is just consolidating, and it's definitely coming to this level of 3,900. That's what I see here on the daily chart. Indicators wise, you could also see that your indicator RSI officially has now dropped below the 50% level, and it's just hovering around here. That's sideways. Anytime RSI just stays around the 50% level, it's just showing that price is going sideways. So I'm sorry, for all the bulls on crypto. I don't have good news this week on crypto. Everything looks bearish to me, even including the most popular um, asset that has been trending lately, Ethereum. It also doesn't have a strong bearish um, assessment. The 4-hour chart on Ethereum, you could also see that we have made a cycle high, and we will be coming down in the next coming week on Ethereum. It might go sideways a bit, but yeah, I think it might go sideways a bit, but definitely coming down to the 3,900 zone, which is somewhere around this level, coming right back to about somewhere at this level. So with that, it's been 20 minutes, and I don't like to go beyond 20 minutes on any of my videos. So I will conclude. Wish everyone the best of trades this week. Cheers.